We're here for Kyron Edwards' interview for his Unit A assignment. So, Kyron, you've been asked to prepare a coaching session for a session you would deliver um, in a specific area. Okay, you've had a choice of age, activity you can choose. I'm going to ask you to present that information, and then I'll ask you some questions at the end of the interview. Okay?
Right. So I'm going to be doing a goalkeeping session. First of all, I am a student at FSE. My name is Kyron Edwards. And in this, for our learner objective, we would be able to use our handling, footwork, and judgment efficiently in a game situation. This is obviously for goalkeeping and football. What I will be presenting to you, I will be giving you an insight on how goalkeepers training sessions will go and what it like to be one. You will need to check before the session. You will need to check how many participants you have, see if anyone has a medical condition or is injured, make sure all the equipment is safe to use, do a risk assessment before the session starts, and make sure you have enough equipment to do your session. So for the warm-up, this is a maximum of 4 people, but a minimum of 3. If you do not have enough, you will have to make some adaptations to your session and your warm-up. Each participant should have one size 5 football each. Place the ball in one palm firstly, and then you will rotate your arm over your head in a windmill motion. Then you release the ball when it is level with your eyes, so it bounces on the floor and you catch it straight away. You should do this at least 10 times to warm your shoulder muscles up and keep your hand and eye coordination properly, good. This should take roughly 1 minute. If you want to be more advanced, you can side step around the 18-yard box as well, which obviously uses footwork as well as handling skills. Next, in the warm-up, you will be doing lunges while passing the ball between your legs with your hand going under your legs, obviously, to pass the ball through. You should get at least 20 lunges in, which should take a maximum of 1 minute. After this, you should start to pass the ball around your waist clockwise for 30 seconds and anti-clockwise for 30 seconds. With the other participants, get one ball between you and pass it around the 18-yard box while moving in at the same time. You can advance this by also chipping some balls into the other participants' hands to work on their handling and footwork if need be. And then you would do dynamic stretches if anything needs to be stretched. For the first drill, you will need, as I said, a minimum of 3 people, but I will be demonstrating before, which is the best amount for the drill we're about to do. This drill is for more advanced goalkeepers from 15 to 18 years old due to the technical ability of it. First of all, you should have one 11-a-side goal that you can use as obviously safe for the participants to use. You should place 3 cones down the middle of the goal, half footstep and a half apart if need be, or just a footstep. You should do this on an angle at each post as well. So each post have 3 cones set out and 1 row through the middle. The first goalkeeper will run to their left, so they start in the middle of the goal. They run to their left. They go through the cones, so you can either put 2 feet in, or you can put 1 foot in, or you can go to the sides, whichever you feel most comfortable. But it's better to obviously challenge yourself, so it's not making it easy. And then once you get to the end cone, you'll set yourself in a goalkeeper ready position, and then you'll receive quite a strong hard volley into your hands to get your hands working. And then you will go back into the middle goal, so you backtrack, and then you do the same through the middle cones, but you should switch what you did from the first cones to the middle cones. You should switch it up a bit so you can challenge yourself. You receive another volley, you go back, you go to your left, and then you will go through the cones again, doing something different, and then receive a volley again. You need to make sure that every goalkeeper actually does this. So after the first goalkeeper has finished their part of the session, you should then rotate. So rotate clockwise So the keeper was just working should go to the left, and then the other with the middle, and then other in goal. This should be always at 100% intensity, so you can work yourself and make yourself fitter at the same time. But something that may go wrong with this is that some goalkeepers might be having an off day maybe, or something, that they keep dropping the ball. If they do that, then you've got to do maybe a slight bit of work with that one keeper just for even 10 seconds, just to get their hands moving. So the coach got the ball in their hands, and they could just throw it to them, so they get their hands moving and calm them down if need be. So that'll be our first drill. Drill number 2, as I said, you'll need 4 more participants, wherever they want to be placed in the goal. Then the goalkeeper will goes to their right and receive a pass instead of going through cones. So we would take the cones out. You'll receive a pass from the right hand side, so the post, near the post. You then pass it back, and then the middle person would then shoot, give you a shot to save wherever they want to shoot in the goal, and you've obviously got to try and save it. And then you'll go straight back to the middle, you'll set, you'll wait 2 seconds, and then you go out to the left hand side, have a pass from there, come back in, receive another shot. This should be done like 3 times maybe for one goalkeeper. And then, as I say, you got to switch it round so everyone can get a go in goal. These drill 1 and drill 2 should both take 25 minutes roughly. Depends how quickly you go through it and how well the keepers do. The things that may go wrong again is maybe their positioning might be wrong when they come off the post, because you've got to come off the post. You should really come forward and around so you can get the ball away from the post instead of diving back to go in goal. But sometimes you might not have to dive. You can get there with your feet, and that's fine. You could do whichever one need be. And then the final drill is just a more advanced one. We'll be working on handling footwork again, but we'll also be using our muscles a lot more. So really our leg muscles a lot more. So we want to look for that explosive motion when coming either off the post, or I'll explain now, you have to go back. One goalkeeper should be in the middle of the goal, obviously. The other one on the edge of the 6-yard box, so each corner there should be another person as well. All of the ones not working in goal should have a ball each, preferably size 5, obviously because of the age. All of the people will have a ball at their feet, so not in their hands. The goalkeeper will then start in the middle of the goal, shuffle to their left, receive a pass from the person inside, and then the middle man who is shooting should shoot to the opposite side hard and low. So it means that the person has to get back over to the other side, which is going to work their leg muscles a lot more, and it's going to make them obviously go quicker and stretch, so they're making it more challenging for them. Make sure, as I said, make sure the shot's hard and low so they actually have a chance of saving it. Then they'll be going back to the middle straight away, 100% intensity, go out to the other side, receive a pass again, and then the shot will come to the other side of the goal again, which means obviously it's challenging. So you will get tired, so that's why you should do this about 3 times per keeper. So obviously they've got to swap after each one. You work at a high intensity. They possibly can, because I understand that they're going to be tired because of the session we've had. So, some problems that may occur is that some goalkeepers may not be able to get across the goal and save it properly, because they might either be leaning back towards the goal, which you shouldn't really do, because if you go forward, then you can parry the ball either around the post or away as far as you can. But if you're leaning back, obviously, if you'll parry it into the goal, which is not the best thing, because your purpose is to save it from going in the goal. So after that session has done, because that is the final session, we will have a cool down, which is very simple. You will jog very lightly from one side of the pitch to the other width. So you'll be jogging the width of the pitch. When you get to the other side, you should do some stretches, whatever needs to be stretched off, whatever muscle you've used in that session, you should definitely be stretching those off so you don't get any injuries the next day, or if you have a game, say in 2 days, you need to be up, prepared, ready, and not aching. So as I said, yeah, it should be a very light jog back as well, and then that session should be done. So thank you for listening. Is there any questions?
Okay, so first question.
Yeah.
So how are you going to ensure that the David Seaman of the session progresses, or nowadays Alison Becker, and somebody like me? So say you've got somebody who's elite level coming into your session and somebody like me who's terrible in goal. How are you going to make sure both progress?
So for the one who's not as advanced, you could maybe go through it very slowly with them, and then maybe get them to put lighter shots in so they have more of a chance of saving it. If their footwork isn't correct, say in getting across the goal or anything, the coach will come in and coach that. So they have to move sidestep instead of say running towards that, because that's not the right technique to use. And for the David Seaman group, you should make it so they're constantly working, and maybe you should do more reps of it so that their fitness is going to improve even more, and the shots should come in a lot more power and a lot more accuracy, so it's going to be a lot harder. And in the last session, maybe you could put some a bit higher for them so that they can obviously use their leg power to jump up instead of going along the floor where you can slide really. But if it goes up, it's a lot harder than going on the ground. So that's how you should progress that.
Okay. How would you deal with, say, somebody who's messing about in the sessions, not taking it seriously?
It really depends on what they're doing. So if they're not interested and don't look enthusiastic when doing this, because it's quite a not dramatic position, but it is in a way. If you can see them not enjoying it, you might go and ask them like, are you alright? What, are you not enjoying it? Is there anything I can improve on? Because I want to make the session best for them, not for me, for them, so they can improve. So then maybe I could do something to the session, like I can edit the session or whatever, so that they feel a lot more comfortable and like they want to be there. Because if they don't want to be there, then they're not going to perform, they're not going to put 100% intensity in, and then they're just not going to want to play anymore. They might not even come back, so you want everyone to come back constantly every session so they enjoy it, they've got a smile on their face. So yeah, I would definitely try and change the session for them if need be.
And how would you assess the progress of the participant in the session?
Well, I think they'll be playing games, so at the start of the season you could be in a game and they can make, say, 5 saves out of 15. So you'd write that down, you keep a note of that, and you put the date, the game, and what situations the keeper has been in. Throughout the season, you should do that every game. So then, say one time they get caught out at the back with their footwork, maybe in the next training session you should do a bit of footwork, a bit of strikers pressing the goalkeeper so they know where to strike the ball to in a way, because if they get caught out, it's more than likely going to end up in the net. So you could do that as well. You could see how many passes they do per game and how many come off and how many don't, so you can keep a percentage of that. As I said, shots, you can, if they're not doing as well on shot stopping or shots outside the 18-yard box, you can start doing that in training so they can nail that. And they need to get the basics right first before they actually progress to do a lot higher standard training.
Okay. And moving on to skills then, what skills have you got personally that will make you a good coach?
Personally, I think to be honest, my knowledge of goalkeeping is actually alright, because I've done it since I was 6 and I've been places where I've been coached really well, so like Cardiff, Cheltenham and Newport. So like I take things and I see things from other coaches, and I like to do that as well, because if I enjoy the session, then I think maybe other people can enjoy that session as well. So I don't try and copy them, I try to put my own twang on it then. But yeah, I think I take it from other coaches and learn from that. I'm quite good at learning from seeing it visually and actually doing it, rather than say listening and then trying to take it all in.
So why is that an advantage then to have a lot of knowledge on your activity?
Well, because if you don't have a lot of knowledge, then you're not going to know what to do. You're not going to know how to, help the kids. Because if you don't know it yourself, then you're not going to be able to teach them. So they're going to become disinterested. They're not going to perform as well for a start. And like if you have knowledge, then in some situations you'll be able to tell them straight there and then what to do, what you can do better, and how this can improve them. And if they think like that, then they're obviously going to want to improve. So yeah, that's.
Okay. And what other skills have you got that make you a good coach?
I think that I'm loud in a sense then, so that everyone can be able to hear me. I know how to plan. Like I've planned this, so I think I know how to plan properly. So I'm not gonna just turn up on the day and try and do a session off the top of my head. I'll plan in advance, so I know what I'm doing because I like to be organised.
Okay.
I'm confident when I'm like there and I can speak to people properly, so I get to know them a lot more. So it makes me even more confident, and then it helps them. If I'm confident, then they're going to be confident in me. So if I wasn't confident, they'd be like, oh, does he know what he's doing, or is he struggling? So I don't want that to come across to the people I'm teaching then, because that's kind of negative in a way. So I want to try and be as positive as I can to help the kids or students in this case.
Brilliant. So how would you create a positive environment?
First of all, by going in there and being happy, being positive, asking people how they are, be quite energetic, because kids feed off that. So if you're not energetic and you're really like boring, then they're not going to want to come back, and they're not going to want to participate in your session at all. They're not going to want to try their hardest, because they just think it's pointless because their teachers say boring then. But if you're really energetic, they're going to feed off it. They're going to want to do stuff. They're going to want to work for you. So then if they want to work for you, then they're going to obviously progress. So that's all that really matters.
Okay. And finally, have you got any questions for me? As a coach?
As a coach? No, not really, no. Not at the moment.
Okay, thank you.